Portion of Daytime Tri-Cities is sponsored by SFG Medicare. On today's Medicare Tips with Andrew, we're going to talk about what you need to know about going on Medicare for the very first time. Good morning, Andrew. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Let's talk about that. I guess the first thing people need to know is when's the right time to go on Medicare?
So 65 is the magic number. So you qualify for Medicare when you turn 65, and then you also can qualify for Medicare if you've been on disability for 2 years.
Now let's talk about how do you get on Medicare? What does that process look like?
So it's easy if you're drawing your Social Security. So if you decided to already draw your Social Security, then your Medicare is automatic and you don't have to do anything. You don't have to call anybody, you don't have to sign anything, and your Medicare card will just show up in the mail.
Let's say you're 65, you're not drawing Social Security. How do you get on Medicare then?
So you have to enroll into Medicare through the Social Security office. And you usually do that over the phone, or you can do it online at ssa.gov, but it's actually through the Social Security office. It's not actually through Medicare, but you do not have to draw your Social Security to be able to go on Medicare.
Now we hear about penalties for not signing up for Medicare. What are those penalties?
So there's a penalty for not going on to Medicare B and for not going on Medicare D. And the big thing about those is those are lifetime penalties if you don't sign up when you're supposed to.
A lifetime penalty. Now what does that entail for you?
So a lifetime penalty is based on how long you go without Medicare. So if you went, say, 10 years without a prescription plan, the Part D, then that penalty is added up over 10 years and it's set for life. So you have to pay it every month that you're on the plan.
When would you not need to go on Medicare?
So the only time you would not need to go on Medicare is if you're still working and you have employer coverage, or your spouse is working and they carry you on their employer coverage and there's over 20 employees.
That sounds a little bit confusing.
It's a lot bit confusing because there's all these tiny little rules that can make a big difference, and people get scared because of the penalties and things like that. So because it's the government, they make it a lot more confusing than it needs to be.
Now this is what you do on a daily basis. You sit down, like you sit down with me and you're with our viewers right here, and you make things easy. You discuss things with folks, don't you?
So that's my #1 job, is just to calm people's fears and to make it as easy as possible. I've been doing this for 18 years now, and the big thing is everyone has a different situation, and so it's really hard to make a decision or think you need to do something because your neighbor or your brother or your friend. And so that's what I do, is I sit down and I help people understand what they need to do or what they don't need to do.
Right, and you don't charge fees to people.
No, so I don't have to charge fees. I get paid by insurance companies for helping people, and so whether we do something or we don't do anything, I don't charge a fee.
So it's simple as picking up the phone and calling you or getting in contact with you.
Yeah, everything I do is on an appointment basis, and so people just need to call me and say, "Hey Andrew, I saw you on Daytime and I just want to get some help," and we'll look at it and we'll do anything we need to do to make sure they're taken care of.
But that magical number of 65, lots of things you need to take into consideration when it comes to Medicare.
Yeah, I kind of look at it like turning 16 or 21. It's one of those magic numbers where life changes quite a bit, and people don't like getting older, but 65 is a big age that for most people Medicare is better insurance than what they have with their employer or on their own. So that's usually a good thing for people turning 65.
And you got to watch out. I mean, there are Medicare scammers out there, aren't there?
Well, there's a lot of just straight up scams where they're stealing your identity or they're making false charges. And then, so that's half of it. The other half of it is people just misrepresenting themselves, talking about, oh, you qualify for these benefits and you get all this stuff. And what they're actually talking about is they're selling you insurance.
Right.
And that may or may not be good for you. And that's why it's good to have like a local person that you can actually talk to and that is looking at your best interest rather than just selling you something.
And you are that local person.
I try to be, yes.
All right. Andrew, we appreciate you stopping by. Great information.
Well, thank you.
All right, folks, let's give you the information for him to contact him. Medicare Tips with Andrew, SFG Medicare. You need to call him, make an appointment. We got the number, we got the website. You can also find him on Facebook as well. The preceding portion of Daytime Tri-Cities was sponsored by SFG Medicare.